Hello everyone, I am back from my little break to show you my favorite horror films, or horror films that I own, and then if I, have favorites in there, we will talk about them. So how the hell do I want to do this? I just literally, I'm doing it on the Dracula mat that I got. Some stuff up here real quick, so we're gonna talk about all my favorite horror films. So maybe we should, you know what, I'll show you some of the criterions that I have. These are horror, these are also sci-fi too. I consider that, it's the spooky month, so. This film, liked it the first time I saw it, ended up getting the criterion, didn't like it as much. But Jack Arnold is a pretty good director, I think. Obviously, he did Creature from the Black Lagoon, which is one of my favorites, so. But yeah, good film though. Not one of my favorites, but solid. Another one that I have similar feelings on is Silence of the Lambs, though I have to give this another watch. So that's some criterions. Let's keep going. The Blob, one of my favorites. I always try to start these videos off with criterions. You have to become like a criterion sycophant, but they do have so many classic films. So I Married a Witch is a good movie with Fred McMarch and, oh no, I forgot her name. What the hell's her name? Why isn't it on here? What the hell? Not Susan Hayward. What's a fucking... Well, it's gonna have to get cut out of the video. Veronica Lake. Veronica Lake, yeah. I'm not cutting that. I'm leaving it in. My blunders. My brain is so dead right now. Cat People by Jacques Tourneur. Another one of my favorite films. Also, he did Night of the Demon, which is great. And also, he did, Out of the Past, of course, but that's noir. So another solid film, War of the Worlds. Not one of my all-time favorites, but definitely cool. And when this came out, this was very popular. So that's another one. It's like Criterion horror recommendations. And then, of course, one of my favorite films of all time, Island of Lost Souls, with Charles Lawton and my boy Bela, who, of course, is all over the fucking... he's here, he's around. My boy Bela, so... Classic film, Island of Lost Souls. What is the law? Okay, I'm not going to quote Lugosi the whole fucking thing. Alright, so those are the criterions. Let me quickly go through, and I had to do some stuff here because I got most all of the Universal films I wanted on 4K. This also was set there too. So I took them out of here. I have to decide what I'm going to do with those other Blu-ray discs. I can give them to somebody. These are just some of my extra things, or extra Island of Lost Souls, and then some miscellaneous Lugosi. But then it cuts into this over here I wanted to put Plan 9, I wanted to put Ed Wood. Because I consider Ed Wood like a Lugosi film, even though it was made decades after he died. And then you start here with my silent horrors. Of course, Nosferatu, one of my favorites. I just watched Caligari again, very good. So you have the silent films. And then this is where I started taking stuff out, because it was all the Universal monsters, and I pulled the discs out. But I still have Son of Frankenstein, Ghost of Frankenstein, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, which I just watched. And then some of the other sequels, of course, Abbott and Costello, Old Dark House. So there's an extra 2 spots here for stuff. Some of my other favorite films, Freaks, Murders in the Rue Morgue, White Zombie, Mystery of the Wax Museum, all my favorite films. Mad Love is also really good. What the fuck is this? Oh, this is the Vincent Price House of Wax. This is just an order. Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, some other favorites of mine. Night of the Demon, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original. I'm all about the originals. I like the original Blob better, Fly better, Invasion of the Body Snatchers better. Thing from Another World, which... Oh, I think the Thing from Another World is in my Howard Hawks section. Which it probably shouldn't be, but I'm just going to keep it there. Whatever. I'll just keep it in the Hawks section. Maybe I'll move it. I'm not sure. I probably should move it. And then ending off with Comedy of Terrors. So that's that. There's some more classics. And I'll show you some of my favorites that are... more recent, whatever the hell that means. Okay, this is all getting stuck. I don't know where to film this motherfucker. Alright, so Rosemary's Baby is one of my favorites. Also, Repulsion's pretty good. Exorcist 3. Obviously, I have Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Night of the Living Dead. Evil Dead. Creepshow I really like a lot. Return of the Living Dead. And then Return of the Living Dead 3. Night of the Creeps is one of my favorite films ever. This is probably my favorite 80s. Well, That and They Live, but They Live is, I didn't even bring that. That's more sci-fi action. This is a fucking good film. Dead Alive, some more zombie stuff. The Carpenter films. Oh yeah, okay, here's my, this is just a standard Blu-ray, but I also have the 4K of that, so. I know this is not technically a Carpenter film, but I think he wrote it and scored it. Reanimator is really good. Some of the remakes, some Friday the 13th films, all my Nightmare on Elm Street films, miscellaneous things. Clue is one of my favorite movies. I don't know what this shit is. This is Misery, and what is this? Wrong Turn. Okay. Okay, some Tim Curry stuff. Just a bunch of miscellaneous crap. I still have to watch Ginger Snaps. The Ring, I like The Ring. Tucker and Dale, that's a good movie. Some found footage things. I only own this because I watched it like 700 times when I was younger. Hereditary. The Witch, Lighthouse, more recent stuff. These are the Scooby-Doo ones. Zombie Island, A Witch's Ghost. And then Alien Invasion You Can't Even See, and Cyber Chase. Cyber Chase is the only Blu-ray that they did for those movies. And then Coraline, of course. I have to have Coraline. But my 4K is going to come in December. Steelbook. So we have some schlock movies, and at the end, I guess this is kind of horror related, so why not? Like Monos. Frankenhooker is really funny. Cue the Winged Serpent. Troll 2. Maniac Cop. Basket Case. My favorite of all time, Samurai Cop. In the Room, Poltergeist. Oh, and an underrated one, Hollywood Mortuary, which looks like shit but has a great concept. And Swamp Zombies by Len Kabaczynski. Birdemic. Okay, this is just the Munsters, and I wasn't talking about all the family discs and stuff. So forget about this. Let me flip this over. Close this. Let me get Bela's face over here. Whose 140th birthday. Yeah, we'll do something else at the end. Okay. I'll save that for the end. Let's talk about these. So, before I share my 4Ks, I don't have all the 4Ks yet for the Universal Monsters. Still have to get the Wolfman and Frankenstein, but I will eventually. And they're all good. I should have just brought both sets in 4K, but I didn't. I have a mix of the box set, steelbook, and individual set. They released them so many different ways. I never want to own the Universal Monster movies again after this. I hope 4K is it. Probably won't be, but I love those movies. Anyway, here's my Universal Horror Collection. This was supposed to be one set, and ended up being volume 1. There's like a bunch of other volumes I don't have, and I've never even seen those movies. But The Black Cat and the Raven are two of my favorite films of all time. Black Cat is probably right behind The Invisible Man. It's my favorite Universal horror film, period. These two fit. Well, this one I haven't even seen. This one's pretty bad, The Invisible Ray. It's not that good. It has some parts I remember because I love Lugosi. And I can memorize like all his dialogue from all the movies he's in because he has such a distinctive speech pattern. So, yeah. But The Black Cat's a masterpiece, and The Raven's really freaking good, too. Really good. So, I mean, this one is insane. This is Lugosi unhinged. But this is a really great film, too. They're both great. I don't know. 5 stars, 4.5. I don't know. They're pretty amazing. So, anyway, that's that set. Really good films. I just watched those two again. Really good. So, then I have an individual Invisible Man. This is my favorite of the Universal horror films, probably ever. If I had to do a top 10, this would be in it. If I had to pick one horror movie to put in a top 10, I think this would be it. This is such a great movie. So, that's my 4K of The Invisible Man. And then I have, of course, a steelbook. So I'll get Frankenstein and Wolfman later. Of course, I had to put him in the shot like that. There we go. Lugosi is Dracula. Steelbook. He's hidden though, but that's him coming down. Getting that neck. So that's my steelbook. And then I hope they do The Black Cat and the Raven in 4K. I want those. They should do that. I have volume 2. Kind of like how I have volume 1 of Hitchcock. It's a mess. But yeah, so this has my other favorite creature from the Black Lagoon. And then these other movies I like too, obviously. Well, I've never even seen this, but Mummy is solid, and Bride of Frankenstein is solid too. So yeah, that's my Universals. We'll have to get. Obviously, I have the Frankenstein sequels. I don't have the sequels, like the whole box set where they've got all the Creature sequels and Invisible Man sequels and Mummy sequels. I haven't seen any of that shit. The classics are the classics. I watched Frankenstein Meet the Wolfman. It was fine. It was better than I thought it was going to be, but it was fine. I'll watch them eventually, one day. I don't think they're movies I'll ever watch more than once, so I'll have to watch them, you know, at one point, just get to it. But anyway, yeah, that's my collection. Before I go, I just want to say rest in peace, Angela Lansbury, who died on the 11th, a couple of days shy of her 97th birthday. She was in the same league, I think, as Bette Davis, Barbara Stanwyck. She was an incredible talent. I think she was one of the greatest performers of all time. Every single thing you could say about a performer, you know, when they pass, it applies to Angela Lansbury. She was just extremely gifted, and she was a professional, and she was, in a way, a workaholic. She just did it until she couldn't do it anymore. That's the same thing Bette Davis did. That's the same thing Barbara Stanwyck did. And I always felt like she was the last of that type of person that we have, or we had, and she was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Movies, television, theater. She could do it all. And she had a warmth to her that I think even those other two women didn't really have. There was a warmth, at least publicly, because they were very private people. But publicly, Angela Lansbury, you just felt like it was like a warm blanket. She was just this, when she was here, it was okay, and now she's not, and it feels fucking weird. It feels real weird. So, happy birthday, Lugosi. Rest in peace, and happy late birthday, Angela Lansbury. Yeah, so check out any of these movies if you haven't seen them. And I will see you next month with a haul. Well, maybe we'll talk some more about the stuff I picked up, because there's more things coming, and I could show those. And Marco the Vampire is supposed to be in the mail today. Of course not. I need to record the fucking video. But yeah, so there we go. Oh yeah, and he's 100. Lugosi was 140 yesterday, so that's fucking insane. 1882. I'm waiting for his ass to come out of the grave. We need Dracula. No. All right, goodbye. Goodbye.